Hello and welcome to this review of Billy Bob's Huntin and Fishin. Now I have to talk with kind of a calm, almost whispering demeanor because wouldn't you know it, my main microphone actually had a bit of a problem. I believe the technical term is it broketed. So I got this other mic. This is a really professional mic, but it isn't calibrated very well. I even have that little buffer thing to buffer my voice so it sounds really good, but you might hear a bit of an echo throughout this review, and if I'm loud, if I increase the frequency of my voice any more than this, if I laugh, for example, it's probably not going to sound very good, and the echo is going to become really noticeable. So just bear with me. I'll try to calibrate everything so everything works perfectly. But all that aside, let's review Billy Bob's Huntin and Fishin. This is a quirky and pretty fun game for the Game Boy Color. I guess you can think of this as WarioWare for the Game Boy Color, because Billy Bob's Huntin and Fishin is basically a funny little collection of minigames. See, you're playing as this obese hillbilly who has to hunt, fish, and perform various tasks in little mini-games in the game. In fact, everything's basically a mini-game, hunting and fishing included, to impress this sexy little Jessica Simpson-looking character. That's what really life is all about. You know, Chris Weidman didn't beat Anderson Silva to be the champion. He did it to impress his wife. Everything men do is to impress women, so our chances of mating with them are increased significantly. That's just biology 101. Let me quote the great Charles Darwin in this instance and say, first you get the power, then you get the money, then you get the women. That's just evolutionary biology. Anyway, the mini-games in this game are pretty intuitive, they're fun to play, but they're simple. I mean, this is way more WarioWare than, a collection of really awful mini-games like, say, Action 52. The mini-games basically take place in the real world, so there's a reason you're doing them. So, for example, you walk into a hunting store, and to get your hunting license, so the popo don't hassle you, you have to perform a little mini-game. You need to go swimming because you're a little dirty, before your big hunt. And in that instance, the minigame would be like pigs trying to jump in your water hole, and you have to kind of bounce them off of your hand so the pigs don't fall in the water and get you all dirty. And then you get your license after performing a few little mini games, and you go out into this field where you have to find some rabbit footprints. And once you find the rabbit footprints, you walk over them, and that takes you to a mini game where you hunt more rabbits. And it's the same thing with fishing. You go into a fishing store, you perform some mini games like catching some crawfish, catching some bait, and then you go out on a selection of various boats and you try to catch some fish. Everything in this game is basically a mini game. Some mini games are pretty intuitive and fun to play, but there are a few mini games that are just incredibly hard. I mean, you need the reflexes of aforementioned Chris Weidman to actually do good in these minigames. I mean, this is ridiculous. Look at all these fish going left to right. There's no way I can time myself. I have to be like a precog. I have to predict where the next fish is going to be, but of course I can't because it's completely random. For a Game Boy Color game, the graphics are absolutely spectacular. There is a lot of minigames for a Game Boy Color game. It has a fun, quirky story, and I find that the little hillbilly, chubby guy that you play as is absolutely adorable as he wobbles back and forth around this world, rides his little go-kart like a chubby little hillbilly Eric Cartman. It's just a fun little game, and for the system it's on, a portable system, and an old portable system at that, this game is pretty impressive. So Billy Bob's Huntin and Fishin gets an official stanburdman rating of a 7.2 out of 10. It's a game you should check out if you have a Game Boy Color. Man, I really hope this review doesn't sound awful. I'm almost certain I'm going to press stop in this recording and it's just going to sound horrible because of this new mic. That's actually one of the reasons I couldn't do like an awful PC game review today, because I'm just going to be laughing uncontrollably and screaming at the game for being bad, and that's just going to sound horrible. I'm going to destroy your eardrums with this mic setup if I do that. So today had to be kind of a tame, relaxed, a tame ASMR Bob Ross style review. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends.